Welcome to Overtime Heroics MMA. I'm Mason Shatwell, and joining me today is Cage Warriors bantamweight Adam Wiltz. So before we get into anything, how are you doing, mate?
I'm fine, thank you. Good to finally get a fight ready for the end of June.
I appreciate your time. Obviously, you're gonna be busy. Obviously, working towards this fight in June. Is there I know you're not gonna be able to say anything, but is there a name that's been decided yet?
I think so, yeah. Up to now, nothing's been actually confirmed or accepted yet, but I've been told a name, yeah.
Good stuff. I can't wait to see you back in there. I'll go back to your last fight. It was against Wesley Meyer, I believe. Obviously, it didn't go your way. How was you feeling going into that fight?
Do you know what? I felt great. Everything felt great. I think I might have. The only thing I messed up within that fight is I got my weight too low. So during the fight, I didn't put much weight on, or I only cut like 0.7 of a kilo. So not much. But apart from that, everything else was good. I felt fine leading up to it. Yeah, I mean, it was just one of them. It was a bit of a shit fight, but you know, it does happen in MMA. It's happened before, and it'll probably more than likely happen again. It's just got to crack on with it, keep going.
What was the injury that you suffered during that fight?
It was a hairline fracture. So is it your tibia just behind your shin?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was off my feet couldn't walk for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, I remember seeing your stories, obviously, a couple of days and a week or two after the fight. Obviously, you weren't able to walk. How long did it take you to get back to training?
It took back to January. It was actually, or I think I'd done a few little sessions in like December, but it was only like boxing pads. But yeah, it was January when I started like training twice a day again. I've done a few little pad sessions, but it was just more rest. I didn't really even have to train, to be honest, because I knew I wasn't going to be fighting for a while, so I wasn't in too much of a rush to get back to training. But yeah, it was back January.
So you're back full time now?
Yeah, back full time. Yeah. I have been all this year, to be honest.
That's good to hear. So you're going to be on the next trilogy with Cage Warriors. I believe that's end of June, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's the 24th, 5th, and 6th of June.
And obviously, I'll go on about your gym, NextGen. Obviously, there's a wide range of Cage Warriors and now UFC stars in the gym. There's Molly McCann and Paddy Pimblett in the UFC, and with Cage Warriors, you've got quite a few guys in there. You've got yourself, Nathan Fletcher, Liam Gittins, Matt Bonner. How does it feel training at a gym with all these top level athletes?
It's good. It's the best thing for you. You know, quite a lot of gyms aren't as lucky as we are to have a lot of high level people in the same room. So having all that people in the gym at the same time, you know, it's priceless. I know people travel a long distance to get to a sort of gym like ours where there's a lot of high level people. So, you know, I'm very lucky to be able to share the gym with that many good people.
Well, there's another fighter in your weight class that trains with you, obviously, Nathan Fletcher. So someone your weight is going to be good to train with. What have you made of his recent performances lately? Obviously, in the September trilogy, that got cancelled, but he came back in the December one and now the March one. What have you made of Nathan's recent fights?
Yeah, he's doing well, isn't he? He's looking boss. He's looking very good. And he had to just beat a tough person and a very good person. In that Italian lad, he just thought so. Yeah, he's flying, isn't he, at the minute?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be speaking to Nathan this week. I spoke to him a few times during the fight week and that. And what yourself, Matt, Nathan, all the guys, you've all seen very, very professional leading up to fight week. I've been lucky enough to speak to quite a few of you guys from your gym. And do you think having that professional attitude outside the cage and in the cage is important during your career?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as an amateur, I trained hard all the time, but I didn't really see it as like a profession. I just kind of just went out on a weekend, messed around. But now it's like, yeah, it's all or nothing, isn't it? Yeah, the diet's on point now. Like back then, I just used to starve myself 3 weeks before the fight, make weight. So yeah, I've just taken a completely different approach to fighting now. I'll look at it in a completely different way. And yeah, I'm just focused on fighting, to be honest.
Well, like we said, your fight's going to be on one of the days of the trilogy in June. How many fights do you want to get in before the end of the year? Because obviously we don't know what Cage Warriors' plans are. They might do trilogies again this year, so maybe in an October and then a December one. But in your
Yeah,
ideal world, how many more fights would you want to get after this one, presuming everything goes well?
probably another two more. I always try and aim for about 3 fights a year. At minimum of two, but I'd like to say three this year, definitely.
I think last year, I believe, you got in. Was it 2 fights last year?
Yeah, two, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. How did you feel? Obviously, what one didn't go your way, but how did you feel to know that you was lucky enough to get 2 fights in that year? Because obviously some guys haven't fought still.
Yeah, I know. I'm very, very lucky. For Cage Warriors, because if I was signed to someone else like Bellator or something, I wouldn't have even had a fight at all last year, and I don't think I would have had one up until this point this year as well. So, yeah, that's the good thing about Cage Warriors, still putting on shows, still getting people fighting when a lot of these other promotions are just letting people do whatever, and no one's getting fights at the minute. So, yeah, I'm quite grateful, really.
I'm always interested in asking this when I'm speaking to guys fighting under the Cage Warriors banner. Obviously, your last fight, September, that was in Manchester, I believe, and the
Yeah.
Cage Warriors bubble was still a thing during then. How was it under the Cage Warriors bubble when you were leading up to the fight?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, yeah, it was good. The night before, the only thing I didn't really like was having to corner the night before my fight, and I was up till late. And then, because before my last fight, I had to go and corner Matt Bonner as well, and I thought we'd be able to just go corner them and then go, but we all had to wait till the end of the show. So I don't even think we got until about 12 o'clock that night, and it was the day I'd weighed in, so I didn't really. But I'm not too bothered, like, but it's just not really what I'm used to. I'm not used to
Yeah.
like staying at the house till 12 o'clock and just um, I'm used to just chilling. But like apart from that, it was good. The hotel was good. Everything was spot on. Like, couldn't really complain.
You mentioned your teammate Matt Bonner there. I just want to ask. Obviously, I spoke to Matt a couple of weeks ago, and it seems next is going to be the Cage Warriors title against Matthias Frederick. Do you think that's what's in next for Matt?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, he definitely deserves it, doesn't he? So he should defo, and I think he'd defo easily beat Frederick. Defo.
100%. I want to go back to NextGen. How did you get involved in NextGen? How did you come about training there?
So I've been there for about 10, 11 years now. And what it was I actually started training MMA in Jersey. It's a little island by France,
Hmm.
because I lived there for a bit when I was a teenager. And yeah, so I was training at a gym there, and then I come back to Liverpool, and then I wanted to carry on training. So I was looking to try and go to a gym to get fit first. And it was a gym, like I typed it in on Google, and the first gym that come up was a gym called No Limits. So I originally was meant to be going to just do strength and conditioning circuits, and then I didn't know that NextGen was above No Limits. So when I'd got in the lift, and it was on top of a building, so I'd said like the third floor, and then it went up to the fourth floor, and I went in and there's an MMA gym, and I was like, oh, do you know what? I'll just do this instead, and then I started there, and then that was it.
I want to ask about the Liverpool MMA scene compared to the rest of Europe as such. It seems Liverpool, out of all the cities, are some of the strongest in terms of depth in their MMA guys. Obviously, we've seen the guys like Darren Till, and the gyms in Liverpool producing guys like, say, Till, Tom Aspinall, Mike Grundy, yourself, Paddy Pimblett. How strong are the Liverpool gym scene and the MMA scene in Liverpool?
Yeah, there's just loads of gyms, isn't there? In Liverpool, loads of gyms doing well, loads of good fighters. It's definitely one of the best cities in the whole of the UK for MMA. If there's ever any foreign fighters, I'd say Liverpool's the place, because there's so many good gyms with so many good fighters and spread out over all different weight categories. So yeah, Liverpool's definitely up there for MMA. Like,
Well, we spoke out about how you got involved with next gen training there, but and you spoke about started training in Jersey, but what got you in them gym doors in the first place?
it was my cousin. When I lived in Jersey, he he loved watching UFC at the time, and I'd never heard of it. I was only like 16 or 17 or something like that. And he showed me it, and then we'd start having like little fights in the garden and stuff. And then yeah, it was him, to be honest, that got me into it. We used to stay up and watch them. So yeah, that's where my interest in MMA came from, the older cousin.
After you started training, was there anyone that you looked up to within MMA?
Yeah, I used to look up to the people in the gym that I was training at the time. Yeah, the people who was fighting on Cage Warriors and touching on the UFC. That I used to look up to them because they were always in the same classes as me and doing everything I was doing. So I used to think, well, if they're there, why can't I get there? Do you know what I mean?
How does it feel to know that you fight under one of the biggest European promotions in MMA?
Yeah, it's good. It's a good achievement, isn't it? I've already came further than what most people thought I would have anyway. So if I retired from fighting today, I'd still be happy because I've done what most people said would never happen anyway, or thought would never happen. So yeah, it's good. Definitely good feeling to fight under Cage Warriors. I wouldn't go to any other promotion either. I wouldn't. I don't think I don't think I could ever be bothered going to like Bellator or anything like that, unless they were offering like very serious good money. Like, but yeah.
I know a lot of people have like not as such haters, but doubters at the start of the career. Did you experience that?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Yeah, this is another good thing about losing a fight because you see everyone's when you're on these win streaks, everyone loves you. As soon as you lose a fight, everyone's like, "Ah, we're as good as what we thought." You know what I mean? But that's the same as everyone. Every single fighter will get that. But it's good though because I remember saying in interviews 8 years ago, I only have kept a very small, close circle of friends who I'd actually let in. Do you know what I mean? So nothing's really ever changed for me, but I know that there's defo you can feel it. Like when you're on a win streak, everyone wants to know. It's like yeah, it's like anything though, isn't it?
yeah.
I'm sure like the likes of Paddy and stuff, him going to the UFC now, there'll be a lot of people coming out the woodwork trying to be his mate and stuff. It's just the way people are, isn't it?
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot with getting into the cage warrior scene, watching it myself. I've noticed a lot by checking socials when someone loses, they're all, oh, they were never that good, but then when they get the win again, oh, the back,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that.
That's just the nature of the sport. I mean, you can't take that stuff to. I don't anyway. I just look and just be like, well, the thing is about me is that I know who's been there from the start. So whatever success I get, I know the people who I'd share it with, and I know the people who I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And there's a few people who I'd just be like, you weren't saying this when I lost. You was trying to big up other people when I lost. So do you know what I mean? Um, but then that's just maturity as well, isn't it? Growing up in Liverpool as well, being able to spot the fake people that are just round you when you're doing well, and then
Yeah.
when you're not doing so well, they jump ship and they're off.
Well, I want to ask about when you're in training. I've asked a few guys from different gyms who pushes you the furthest. Because is there a guy in the gym that when you do sparring rounds that you don't go full on, but that you go hard with each other with?
Yeah, there's a few. I think everyone in our gym pushes me. I couldn't name a specific name that makes me dig deep and actually want to like every single round's like that. I'm just trying to think. No, not really. Everyone's pretty much the same. If anything, I'm the one who's known for going hard in sparring. I go hard with everyone, but everyone can take it and everyone gives it back. So yeah, I'd say everyone in the gym. You're never gonna get an easy spar in the gym. There's never gonna be a round where you're like, oh, I've got an easy one here.
No, obviously. You're not going to improve if you got going easy with each other, are you?
Yeah, the one person who would say there's a lad who's only been here for about a year called Camilleri. He's from Malta. He's a wrestler. When I spar him, I think to me, right, I've got to stay switched on now because he's a very good wrestler. So maybe he pushes me quite hard to not end up on my back.
Yeah.
Because he's just one of them people. When he gets me down, he's got me. And so, yeah, probably him. I'd actually say him. Yeah, he pushes me the hardest in sparring because I try so hard not to get taken down by him.
Well, we spoke about what your plans are, hopefully for the rest of this year. But say 5 years time, where do you see yourself within MMA?
Hopefully, well in the UFC. If not in the UFC, definitely holding the belt in Cage Warriors. But yeah, we'll just see. Yeah, hopefully in the UFC, definitely in 5 years' time.
And then last thing from me, for a young fighter that's going to come through the gym doors one day, if you could give them one piece of advice, what would you give to them?
One piece of advice, probably. I don't know. Probably get comfortable in the uncomfortable positions. Try not to. If you don't like doing something in the gym, if you hate being on your back in the gym, or you hate sparring, or just get used to that. Just yeah, just get comfy in the uncomfortable positions. That's all.
Well, I appreciate your time, Adam. I've got no doubt that you're going to get back on that winning ride, and I just want to say thanks for your time, man.
Thank you. No problem. So thank you for the time.
Take care of yourself, pal.
Bye, mate. You too. Thank you.